So as you can see, these panels on our system here are quite dirty now. And today we're going to clean them. And then we will compare, in the monitoring, we will compare the week before and the week after. Now, this is the winter time in Thailand, so it's very little change of weather. Pretty much every day is without any clouds. So it's very easy to compare the results. Obviously, you can't compare many weeks apart, because then you have to deal with other factors too, like change of season and stuff like that. But we can compare before and after. So that's what we're gonna do. Hello guys, this is part 2 of our cleaning experiment. Now 1 week has passed after since the cleaning. So now what we will do, we will go and check the numbers. How was the production before the cleaning, 1 week before, and how was the production 1 week after the cleaning. We can do a comparison like that because the weather has been very good, it's been very stable. Obviously, if suddenly a storm comes on the 2nd week after the cleaning, you can't really do any comparisons, but we can because the weather has been stable. So let's go inside the office and check the numbers and see what conclusions we can make. Okay guys, here we are with the data. Let's first run down the premises of this little experiment. It's been 1 year since we did the last cleaning. Number 2, we have to assume that the weather was similar before and after, and that's a reasonable assumption because we have observing and there has been no major change in weather. Now obviously you will have change in where the sun is on the sky, so the longer that you extend the test in front and behind the change, the cleaning, the more will the weather affect, and the sun, the different position of the sun will affect the result. But I think we can reasonably assume that the change will minimally affect the result in this case, because the weather has been reasonably similar, and because we are only doing measurements from 1 week before and after, that the sun's position will not change too much. The third premise is that the slope is about 17 degrees on the roof. That is an important assumption because the flatter the roof is, the more important and the more effective cleaning will be. But at the same time, the opposite is also true, that you have to clean the panels much more often, because the shit will fill up faster and you will have less self-cleaning in rain. So this is an important assumption. How systems are going to react if they are compared to this. If you have a very flat roof, very flat panels, the most important change compared to the results here is that you will much more likely to see a bigger improvement compared to what we do, but at the same time you will see a faster deterioration down to bad levels again. So, and then compared to steeper roof will be less efficient. Well, that will be a flatter roof also, because 17 to 15 is optimal. But a steeper roof will have the benefit that they will have better self-cleaning. So you will see a little bit less improvement after the cleaning, but you also see less and slower deterioration of the production after the cleaning. So these are kind of obvious, but exactly how much, that's not really possible for us to say at this point. We would have to do a lot more observation of both flat and steep roofs installations to be able to give any more detailed numbers. Okay, but now let's talk about this change and these measurements that we have seen here. So this is kind of, I hope, easy to understand. The dates are in the first column. These are the dates, and these are the kilowatt hour measurements for that day. So on the 14th we had 27.4 kilowatt hours. So the first thing we can notice, this is a 5 kilowatt system with oversize, 6.5 kilowatts. These are good numbers. These are all good numbers. Actually, very good. That's the first thing we should notice, which means that it's comparable numbers, because let's say that this number was suddenly 10, then we would know that we can't include this day because something strange would be going on, like either there was a storm or rain or clouds, at least clouds, or there was a technical problem or something like that. But because all these numbers are within range, so to speak, we can assume that we have a valid set of numbers, absolutely. Okay, and then when we add up these, we get 199.5. That's the kilowatt hours on the week before the cleaning. Then on the 21st, we cleaned the panels, and then we got these numbers after. Add them up to 214.9, and then we see that the difference is 15.4, and that's about 7.5%. Okay. Is that a lot or a little? Well, let's wait with talking about that, because first we have to understand that 7%, that is just the difference between before and after the cleaning. Doesn't mean that you're gonna have 7.5% better result throughout the year, obviously, and we can illustrate that in this graph. We have efficiency efficiency improvement in the panels. That's on the y-axis. So that's 7.5% that we say that this point illustrates. So time of the cleaning. Then as time goes by, the efficiency will start coming down, obviously, because dust will be gathering on the panels. How fast this is happening, that's dependent on many factors, and it's not possible to get this 100% accurate, because it's going to change every year, and it depend on when you get storms and when you have this and that. And so the point is not to accurately have this represent reality, absolutely not. The point is that it should just show like a theoretical but helpful view representation of reality. So then you, over time, let's say that this is 1 year, you're gonna see a disappearance of that 7.5 benefit that you got at the time of cleaning here. Okay, so how do we in a helpful way use that information? Well, I think the easiest is just to take divide it by 2 and say that the difference per year is around 3.75% if we clean once a year. This assumption might not be 100% correct, but that is not really the point either, because we are just trying to estimate some kind of best guess. So maybe over time we will change that guess as we go along, but anyway. So let's try to put that into an example, into a situation where a customer has a 5 kilowatt system. His savings per year is 35,000 baht. 3.75% of this is 1312 baht. So I'm writing here that this is a conservative estimate of the savings that you will have if you clean them once a day. Why do I say it's a conservative estimate? Well, one reason is because if you look at this graph, let's say we do the cleaning in the winter, then here somewhere we're gonna have the start of the rain season. I would assume that we would see a little jump here, because as the rain comes, that will clean out quite a bit of it by the storms and the rain. So you will see a jump here. So that's why I think that it's okay to use this as a starting point, but I still think it's a conservative estimate. So if we say that the range of saving is between 1,300 and 2,000 baht per year if we clean once a day, once per year, that's reasonable to assume, I think. So is that a lot? I think it's okay. I mean, does it makes it definitely the easiest conclusion here is that it's beneficial to clean the panels. Absolutely, obviously. Uh, so I think that's the main conclusion that we can say, and then we can also put this into context in if you clean them yourself or if you have us clean them, because we are actually starting a maintenance program now in January, and obviously we're going to do cleaning as part of that. But there's going to be a lot more, of course, because it's going to be a lot of checking and fixing things. At least, making sure that the system is on every level where it's supposed to be. So then you have that saving that can be a direct result of that maintenance that is being done. But let's get back to that in another video. At least we can conclude that there is certainly direct and very nice benefit from cleaning. But at the same time, it also shows us that there's no point in cleaning the panels every month or something like that, because you would just be shaving off very, very little, and you would have risk associated with cleaning that would happen a lot. So let's say you clean every month, that means that every month there is a risk of an accident, there is a risk of something that, something could go wrong, maybe even the panels could break if you do it the wrong way. That's something I have mentioned in another video that should not be underestimated, and that's if you tell a worker without giving details, go and clean the panels, he might clean them with cold water in the hottest part of the day in the afternoon, and that there's risk involved there. It could be micro cracks and stuff like that. So you have an option there: either learn how to clean them 100% correct, or at least make sure the workers use your instructions 100%, or let us do it as part of the maintenance program. Cleaning the panels, even though it sounds easy, there are some details there that is quite important, so we can get into that more in other videos. Okay, so factors that would be interesting to explore. Obviously, this does not give us full information on all factors related to cleaning and things like that. One thing is interesting is if you clean many times per year, maybe it will be beneficial, depending on your situation, to do it twice a year. I'm certainly open for that possibility, that would be beneficial. Slope, as we talked about, how the slope will definitely determine your specific plan. So even though what we have talked about in this video is a good conclusion regarding a standard system, if you have a non-standard system with a different slope, then definitely we have to look at what is the best for your exact situation. And then, of course, another thing that we don't know is what happens if 2 years or more without cleaning. Well, we do know a little bit because we have seen pictures of big installations that have not been cleaned, and it can be horrible. So this is an interesting question if we are talking about roofs that are difficult to get to. It could be a townhouse with difficult access. It's important to make a plan for these things from the very beginning, so that because obviously after many years you're gonna have a very significant loss. There's no doubt about that. How much we can maybe explore in other videos, but at least there's no doubt there's gonna be a lot of loss. Okay, guys, I hope that's helpful. This is not really meant to be science, absolutely not, but it's certainly, I think, enough data to make some conclusions. And obviously, if you have a scientific education, you will know that if we assume that there is no change between these two conditions, what is the chance that a 7.5% difference would happen either on random or by random factors? I mean weather or stuff like that. Is that likely? I would say very, very small. So that's what I'm hinting at there, is that this is very much likely to be a statistically significant result, even though we don't have a lot of data here. There's absolutely 100% common sense also tells you that this is obviously it's a good thing to clean your panels. Okay, guys, that's it for now. So any questions, let me know and we'll take it from there.